Well, I was working for Samaritan's Purse, which is a charity that sends presents in shoeboxes to children in third world countries. On Tuesday there was just me to pack 400 boxes into cartons. Another couple came for about 3/4 of an hour, but that's all, it was only me. So I had to stay till the end. My son, who lives with me, went out for a training swim because he's in the Australian team of the Triathlon World Championships. But he went for a training swim between 1 and 2, and at that time somebody broke in. Had I been leaving at the normal time, I would have probably run into them while they were here, so I'm very thankful that I didn't leave then and I arrived later. I rang the police and they said, well, the glass people can come because there have been 12 break-ins. I don't know, just in the local area, but they'd had to attend to other break-ins. My grandfather gave this jewellery to my mother for safekeeping because he had owned a wholesale paper business and the Nazis had already taken that from him. I mean, nobody knew the final solution, of course, but they thought it wasn't going to be good. So he gave that jewellery to my mother for safekeeping. They did drop this little ring on the floor. That's all I have left.
And I understand some of that jewellery was extremely sentimental.
Extremely, because it belonged to my mother and before that to my grandmother. This was a photo of my mother wearing one of the necklaces that I inherited from her that was stolen. This was a pearl necklace that my father bought for my mother. I asked him once, is it real? He said, oh yes. This garnet bracelet was also bohemian from my grandfather. One stone had fallen out and I had to get a new one, and they said, we can't cut it exactly the same as the others. I mean, it's just a tiny stone. We can't cut it the same as the others because they don't do that anymore. Well, this is an opal necklace that my mother received from my father. Turquoise one is actually my engagement ring, so I was wearing it. But the cameo and the diamonds were my grandmother's.
And your family is linked back to the Holocaust. Can you tell me about?
Yes. Well, my father, under a pseudonym, did the engineering design for the Berlin Olympic Games Stadium in 1936. The architect knew who he was and knew that he was Jewish. Nobody else did. And his name only came into prominence in, I think, 2009 when someone was doing a history of the stadium because it had been remodelled for the FIFA World Cup. And by a very circuitous route found out about me, and I was able to correspond with him and prove to him that my father had been the engineering design. So in this German book, it's not in English, there's my father's name finally out in the open. I have about 60 relatives in my extended family. The other grandmother, my father's mother, my father's sister, my father's 2 brothers, 2 of his 3 brothers, and their families were all killed.
Do you have a message for the thieves?
You're rotten. No, I can't really say that. I hope you get your just desserts in the end. And I do hope that you get caught sometime.